Hello viewers, Super GT here once again. Now we are going to go online with the legendary Paul Walker Nissan Skyline from Too Fast Too Furious. This thing has been sitting in my garage for pretty much the entirety that I've had this game, and I've never got around to using it. So I definitely thought it's worth a shot. This is A-Class, we're going to give it a try and see exactly how well this thing can do. Now I'm not sure if it's implemented in this car, in this game, but I'm hoping to make use of the nitrous oxide feature, which was very prominent in Too Fast Too Furious, and then if I can jump over someone on a bridge, which would be very ideal. Well, but for now we're going to see what we can do around Sebring, up the outside of the Lancia and the Nissan into the hairpin. I'm going to cut across there in first place. The 370Z going a little bit haywire there, shall we say, on the apex, but I am going to retain first place as we kink to the left towards the next section of circuit. Now this is a fairly complex track. The corners tend to be in little sequences like this one here, and this one's really difficult usually. This car is actually very stiff, so it's actually fairly easy to handle. It's just doesn't turn that well, if that makes sense. It turns fairly slowly, but it doesn't oversteer at all. So it's very easy on throttle on the exit to get right. Now let's see what we can do then as we approach the final sector of the track. This is again another tricky section, especially with the curbs. As you can see, they're just going two wheels over the curbs, and it's going to throw your car in many wild directions. As we round out the second to last turn onto the back straight, the gap just opening up slightly, but then as we cross the line to go on to lap number 2, the Nissan 370Z here, the Team Forza one, just getting the run into turn 1. He's going to go with a very nice move and go through into first place. I've been demoted into second, just having a quick look behind to make sure third place isn't within range to go for a move into this turn, which he isn't. So the Nissan a little bit slow, and I'm going to look up the inside, but at best that is half of an opportunity, so I just had to nudge him. If anything, I couldn't really back out once I had committed. Now down the long kink towards the hairpin, you can see here just how quick that Nissan is. So that Nissan Team Forza 370Z, definitely a car to look at in A-Class. He seems to be very fast indeed. So just on the apex of the hairpin, just cutting off that guy there as we get away, and then crossing the line to start the final lap of 3. So he's going to look up the inside. I believe it's a Lexus or an Infinity, one of the two, or something. You know, I often get it wrong, so it's one of those two. As we come towards the second turn, he's got the inside line, couldn't quite come across to block him. Then looking into the inside line here is a repeat of lap number 2. Not quite going to go for the move that time, so he just actually was able to go around the outside there and maintain the position. The Lancia is on my tail now, so let's see if he can do anything about getting third place as we go into the hairpin once again. Looking for the first set of cones, there they are. That's where I'm going to start braking, and I've gone a little bit deep. So has the Lancia though, there we go, and he's just going to push me off. And we're going to take to the escape road and then resume our third place. So that was that. We did finish the race in third place in the very first race in the Nissan Skyline. So we moved to Prague circuit. Now I'm going to make a fatal error here. It's something that you really shouldn't do in life, and that is to play with death. Because coming into the first turn, we can see there he is, Death himself, and I've actually pushed him into the first turn. You do not want to mess with Death, because he's going to come back and bite you. But actually, it's just Metallica. It's alright guys, let's chill out now. Just Metallica, so we can carry on without the harbouring threat of imminent death hanging over us. We don't have to worry about that anymore. So we can continue this race with without that fear. So we're going to come into the winding section of Prague. A nice big group ahead of us, and we're just going to take a very late apex from the Audi behind us in 5th place. So a big group of 4 ahead of us, or 3 as we go through there, sliding around on each other. The Audi's going to go through, You see there just how stiff this car is. It kind of struggles on those very long corners. That is an issue. Up the inside though of the Audi, it does seem to have good straight line speed, so that is its main trump card, and very close together through the apex there. That is very good racing, and I've just gone up the inside, back up into 5th place. So maybe it is okay around the long corners, but not the absolute best. There are better cars, that is for sure. So into the very hard to get right final sector, and I've just hit the apex, literally smashed it, and then through the chicane, avoiding the inside walls, as you always want to do, of course. Those are usually hot spots for carnage, and this guy's just going to brake way too late, go into the tyre wall. Race over for him. Well, he's got no chance of winning anyway. Now catching up with the Porsche just ahead through the long winding uphill turn, taking a late apex. The Porsche has gone in maybe a little bit too early there, and we're going to go up the inside into the next turn, up into 3rd place. Turn in a little bit too early there, actually had to turn out a couple of times, but then we are actually just going to keep 3rd place as we go down the hill, and then into the winding section again, getting on the brakes nice and early, but then we're just going to get pushed wide by the Porsche. I'm thinking that he was going to give me the place back, and just going to cut across here, but then coming into the next turn, obviously he hadn't had enough of that, so he's going to go for another bite of the cherry, smash me off once again, and then the Audi is going to capitalise on that and go up into 3rd. So we can see just how good the straight line speed here is, going up the outside into the long left. I do like this corner, take it wide and then cut back. I'm just going to give you a quick lesson here. Now this car is clearly on my inside. This is an advantage of driving in 3rd person view, that you can actually see people when they're right next to you. But when someone is next to you, you have to give them a car width. As you can see here, between the wall and myself, there is at least a car width there, so he can safely manoeuvre around there. If you start cutting people off, you are very likely just to get smashed off. The typical level of driver in Forza isn't good enough to realise that they should back out, so it's just best to give people space, and that will often lead to you being involved in less accidents. So sometimes you just have to do the more pragmatic thing, rather than even if you are in the right, sometimes it's better just to give the people the space even if they don't really deserve it, because it will come out better for you. Now this is going to round out lap number 2, just into the wall there. You can see again a fairly stiffly sprung car. So lap number 3, again into the long left-hander. The guy in the Audi is right behind us still, and you can see the proximity area there. I'm just going to hold him off, just hold a nice sensible line, giving him no room. I didn't have to give him room that time because he wasn't on my side, he was still behind me. And we're going to cross the line in 3rd once again, so 2 thirds so far, not bad results. And we are going to move then to Yas Marina, the most chaotic corner cutting circuit of all time, and it's already kicked off. We've barely started, barely even crossed the line, and I've gone up into 12th, so making maybe the most of that the best I could without going round. It's always good that you don't get spun out. Now this is going to turn into a bit of a fast, this one, a couple of guys wide, a bit of carnage ensuing here. Now coming down this section, I'm going to make a massive error. Just going to go into the back of the Caterham. Yeah, totally my fault. I was expecting him to take a more racing line, but he kind of cut across a bit late. But I can explain that one in the comments if you'd like. But then coming down the back straight, you can see just how quick this thing is. It is very good indeed. The brakes are fairly decent too. It's just the handling's a little bit stiff. That is the main thing. A little bit deep actually, I think. The brakes are decent. I just not good at braking. That was all me basically. Coming through the final turn then, a couple of guys spinning out. Pink Honda S2000 I think that was, spun out. Then more guys smashing each other out. And this is the thing. This is how Forza 6 works. You just stay clean, don't crash, and more often than not you'll beat lots of people. It really is just about keeping your nose clean. And then this guy up ahead, look out for this as we come into the cut through section here. He's just going to totally ignore track limits. I mean, screw track limits, who needs those? He's just going to cut completely across there. And that is going to become a theme of this race actually, as it always does around Yas Marina, the capital city of corner cut land, as we all know. We're going to tuck into the slipstream, or are we? The guy behind me is. He's going to get into mine. There's a BMW on my inside here, so I'm in a bit of a hard position here. He's going to hem me in on the outside, and then through the left. I know that he's on my left hand side, so we're just going to give him the space. There he goes. He goes through into 4th, and then coming round the end of lap number 2. So on lap number 3 he's just going to cut that corner again completely, so track limits have gone completely out of the window, as they so often do around here. And then up the inside he goes for a very late dive, and I'm just going to return back to 4th position. Thank you very much for that. And then coming around to finish lap number 3 in 4th place, so not too bad. But then on the last lap he's going to go all out here and just smash me out. So thanks very much for that. So not only do you cut all the corners, you just smash everyone else out of the way as well. I know I did that to the guy at the start, but this guy surely should have known that everyone else was taking the normal racing line, but he was clearly not. Oh well. We're going to finish 4th, 3rd and 4th, and the car is not too bad. It does need some work on the handling. I had good fun in this car though. It was a good laugh. Now I do hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and do subscribe if you'd like to see more. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, and I shall see you next time. Thank you very much for watching. As always, guys, I do appreciate it, and I shall see you next time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.